everyone, it's Justine and I'm over celebrating the March release of So Susie stamps on my YouTube channel as well as on my blog. Here you can view a tutorial on how I created this sort of art therapy inspired card using So Susie stamps March release. And over on my blog you can check out the entire March release. So I'm going to start off with this stamp set here. It's absolutely adorable and can be used for so many different things, from creating a background to creating sort of a partially stamped design area. Really nice for clean and simple cards. It can be a great addition to mixed media projects. It's really a very versatile stamp and can be used for so many happy occasions. So I'm going to start off by stamping using my Fisker stamp press, and I'm going to be stamping this stamp with Memento ink because I'm going to be Copic coloring, and I'm going to try and make the stamp cover the entire panel that I have here. And the panel that I have here measures 4 by 5¼ inches. So you can probably get away with stamping this about 4 times, but you might want to go in and fill in a couple of the little white spaces like I'm doing here with a couple of the corners. And it's important to kind of twist and turn it. It'll make it look really random and make it look like actual patterned paper versus a stamp. So you can see how awesome this looks. I'm going to be using 4 different colors, so I'm not doing any sort of Copic blending or anything special with my Copic markers in this video. I'm just randomly coloring certain areas just to give it a pop of color. And you can do this with a lot of backgrounds. It's a really great way to get your backgrounds to stand out without it being too much, is just coloring certain portions of it. Another thing that's really great about this stamp is you could actually stamp a panel like this and use it like an art therapy session with like those adult coloring books. Without having to purchase an adult coloring book, you can just stamp some of these. If you have a couple different kinds of these sort of stamps, you could use that to make art therapy pages of your own. So I'm just going to attach this now to a card base. My card base measures 11 by 4¼ and it's scored there in the middle at 5½ inches. I reinforced the fold using a bone folder, and I am going to just glue this panel onto my card base. So you can really see how great this looks on the actual frame of the card base once it's glued on there. You can see how great that looks just as a black and white, or by adding those little pops of color. Really makes it stand out quite a bit and really brings out those black lines. Absolutely love the way that this card turned out. I was a little skeptical when I was making it at first, but I actually really like it. And now it's time to pick the perfect sentiment, and because I'm using So Susie stamps, I thought, why not a somewhat humorous sentiment? But before I do that, I'm just going to go in and color a couple more areas on the card because I felt like it wasn't enough pop of color. So while I'm coloring, I thought I'd ask the question, how many of you have adult coloring books, or how many of you like to do this form of art therapy? I just bought my first couple art therapy coloring books, and I think I kind of bought blindly. I bought a Harry Potter one and I bought the Secret Garden one, and the Harry Potter one has a lot of people in it and I'm not really good at coloring people. And then I bought the Secret Garden one, which has beige pages, which really bothers me because they're not white. I'm not sure why. So now I kind of know, after buying my first couple art therapy books, what I'm looking for in an art therapy book, and I'm looking forward to buying one that really suits my needs. So I would love to know what you like about art therapy books or adult coloring books, and if you own them, that'd be great to leave me a comment in the below and let me know. So I'm stamping the sentiment, friends or therapists you can drink with, on a small piece of Nina Solar white cardstock, which is the same white cardstock I'm using for the panel as well as the card base. It's important to not mix your white cardstocks because they are going to be shaded slightly differently and you don't want them to have a gray appearance. I'm just going along the edges of my sentiment here with the RV17 marker, which I also used on the actual coloring, just to give that slight pop of color so it sticks off of the page. I was a little unsure as to where to put this on the card, and I did end up settling in the middle, which is something I rarely do on my cards, is put a sentiment directly in the center of my card, but I thought it really looked quite nice, and I was thinking of adding some washi tape in the background, but I decided not to. So I thought it looked good in both the bottom right and the middle, but I really wanted my sentiment to stick out from the card, and I didn't want to cover up the most of part of the coloring that I did, so I decided on the center. I'm just going to add a couple of rhinestones here from Stamp It Up onto my card, and then that will be the end of today's card tutorial. So please don't forget to comment and let me know about your art therapy or adult coloring book obsession or lack thereof. And I would love to know if you think it's just a hype or if it's actually really proving to be therapeutic for you, and if you actually use them after buying them, unlike myself. So anyway, that's the end of today's card tutorial. Here's a final look at today's card. All the supplies used as well as all the new release are linked to below in the video description as well as on my blog. Here you can click up at the top to view my blog and the new release. Click on the subscribe button on the right to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future tutorials, or you can click on the moving video to see my last video that I created the other day. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.